Children, now we are going to learn about receptor as a drug target. First, we know what are drugs. Drugs means medicines or chemically synthesized compounds. So the drugs has two effects. One is physiological effect. The other one is biochemical effect. Now here in drug targets in receptors, it acts as a physiological effect. So here an important term we are going to learn is about chemical messenger. Chemical messenger means three types: neurotransmitter, neurohormones, neuromodulators. What is that means? It conveys the message from one cell to the other cell. That is called communicate messages, or within one cell, from one cell to other cell, or from one nerve to another nerve, or within the cell. So that is called chemical messenger. So here, what is a receptor? Receptor is a protein molecule. It also helps to transmit messages from one cell to other cells in a cell membrane. So consider this one. This is the outer side of the cell membrane. Consider this is the inner side of the cell membrane, and this is the receptor. This is the receptor. Receptor is a protein molecule also we can take. So you see the receptor, most of the receptor is within the body. Only a small portion is projected outside the cell membrane. So that is called binding site. Or active site. Binding site or active site, which is on the outer side. The other part is within the cell membrane. This is the receptor. This is the outer cell membrane, inner cell membrane. This is the binding site of the receptor. So what is the use of this binding site means? Some chemical messengers will bind on this active site. So it transmits the message inside. Transmit the message inside. From this, what do you understand? Chemical messenger does not go into the body, move into the body, but it conveys the message. So the receptor conveys the message through signals. So it is a communication system. So drugs also comes inside and communicates the message to the body like this, with these signals. So receptors show high selectivity. That is only a particular message it can take inside, not everything. So the receptors, the drug that binds the receptor's site, that is called antagonist. Now we are going to learn what is meant by antagonist. Antagonist means, the correct name if you are learning from even dictionary means, it is said that is an enemy or opponent. What is the function of the antagonist means? It blocks the messages or deactivates the receptors. Antagonist. For example, here in the active site, take adenosine receptors. Instead of the protein, you take adenosine receptor. In the adenosine receptors, the messenger adenosine binds. Adenosine binds to the adenosine receptors. So it sends the message, and through signals it makes us sleepiness. Adenosine receptors, it makes us sleepiness. So this through signals we are getting sleepiness. Now if you are taking a coffee, for example, if you are taking coffee, coffee contains a substance called caffeine. What is the action of the caffeine? That is antagonist drug. What is the function of the caffeine means? It binds to the adenosine receptor and makes it inactive or deactivates, and it makes reduced sleepiness. Reduced sleepiness. That is called antagonist. Antagonist means enemy or opponent. It blocks the messages or deactivates the receptors. That only I told now. If you are taking adenosine receptor, then chemical messenger adenosine, it fits here and sends the message through inside through signals and makes us sleepiness. So if we want to recover from it, we are adding an antagonist drug, that is coffee. Coffee contains caffeine. The use of the caffeine is reduced sleepiness. Next, one more drug that is called agonist. That is antagonist. This is agonist. Agonist, best example is morphine. Morphine, which is used as a painkiller. This is a painkiller. Now, if it binds to the opioid receptor changing now, opioid receptors, it activates them. It activates painkiller. It activates and reduces the pain. So, what it is doing means that it suppresses the neurotransmitter that causes the pain. The agonist activates, antagonist deactivates. Difference you understand, children? Agonist means it activates, antagonist means it deactivates. So most receptors are chiral. Chiral means bonded to different groups called chiral and have different effects. For example, in your book, see various structures given. This is the receptor. This is the outer cell membrane, inner cell membrane. This is the receptor. This is the binding site. Now a chemical messenger approaching, and it fits in this place. If it is fitting in this place, it sends the message through signals like this. That is, we are learning as antagonist. If you are using agonist, it deactivates, no messages. It deactivates and reduces the painkiller. That, for example, adenosine, the structure given here, adenosine, if it fits into the adenosine receptors, it makes us sleepiness. Now, instead of this adenosine, if caffeine is present, this structure is, if it is present, it reduced sleepiness. This is called agonist. This is called antagonist. It's given clearly given in a book, page number 276.